Hello. How's it going? I'm liking this little thing that's going on here. I'm just waiting. It says we're telling your followers that you've started a live video. Right? It's that little pause space. Hi! So, what are we doing here? First, hello, I'm Hillary Raven Porter, multidimensional healer, and Tamiana Starseed Oracle. I was just about to get my oracle on. I've been writing a book. Shh, don't tell. There's like two sides of the coin. There's the people that say, don't tell anybody that you're doing it because of then the pressure and then or the expectation, and then there's the other side that says tell people because then it'll make you do it. I'd love to know which one works for you. I don't find either way works for me. I don't find telling people I'm doing something makes me do it. Mostly because I'm of the personality type that I may say I'm doing this, and then if something comes up or I switch track and I'm like, that actually wasn't working for me, so I'm doing this now, I don't feel bad about not completing what I said I was doing before, in the sense of like projects and stuff like that, and solo projects, right? It's a totally different story when you're working with people and you're like, okay, let's talk about this. Let's see what's working and what's not, right? We're talking solo projects. So, for example, this book. So, it's about to get my oracle on. So, basically, it's Tamiana. I'm not going to say much more other than it's Tamiana. I'll say a little bit more. And first wave downloads were from this lovely gentleman. I am completely blanking on the year. It was like 2008, I think, 2009. And so he had first wave downloads. And then when I trained a few years ago, by a few years ago, again, I can't remember the exact year. It would have been like 2018, maybe. I started getting second wave downloads. And so more information, a whole new set of, I don't like the word protocols, but protocols. And guidance on how to use the tools in a way expanded past what was downloaded in the first wave downloads. And so I've had questions for the Pleiadians, which is where the Tamiana comes from. The Tamiana. And they're like, okay, well, then let's go. Here we go. Let's do this. And so I'm sitting with each of the symbols currently and getting more downloads. Exciting, right? I'll prop myself up here. So, yes. So I was about to get my oracle on and do some channeling, and they were like, oh, no. First, you need to go on. I'm like, okay. Sounds great. And so I was on a little bit earlier and just talking a little bit about my reasoning behind not creating courses yet. I say yet, which is interesting. But I have a challenge with courses that have no personal connection, because I feel there's strength and there's greater access to your own personal flow and the stuff that comes up for you when there's one-on-one support or you have the ability to support. So, yes, that is a thing. And then I looked, and it was the new moon. I tend to be more in line with the full moons. So I was like, oh, look, it's the new moon. Well, here we go. And they're like, hey, messaging coming through. I consider the, I know there, so, let me start. So I always consider the new moon kind of like eclipses where it's a blacked out, right? And for myself, it feels like there's a vortex that's created. So I think of it like big black hole, and then just like more stuff can come through. And I know with full moons, you're just like, oh my goodness, this vibrancy, right? This light, it shines the light on everything, which it does. I'm not saying that it does not, because it does. But with these it's this, it's a bit it's so like the drain, so this black hole, right? Black hole. So we're thinking the moon and the eclipse. And if you think of this drain, what happens when the water comes through the drain and it goes down into the dark? You get this swirl, you get this vortex, and it starts getting this velocity. Vroom, 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 vroom. Download, 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 download. Right? There's this potency that happens. Yeah, so that's my take on the new moon. So when it comes to your rituals, if you're just starting out or you feel aligned with this and you're just like, well, I don't know, what do I do on the new moon? What do I do on the full moon? What feels right for you? I say this a lot and I'm going to sound like a broken record, but what feels right for you? Does it feel right for you to have new beginnings during the full moon or during the new moon? Does it feel like you'd have, for you, feel aligned to have culmination of things at the full moon or the new moon? Right? I'm feeling it pretty strong today. So I think it was yesterday was the new moon. So what in your life have you been avoiding? But not just anything that you're avoiding. What is it that you really, 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 really want? So bad. But you avoid it. Or you do everything in your power to kibosh was the word that was coming up. That's not the word I'm looking for. You fill your time with other things. Yeah? All these glasses are just like, I'll take these guys off. Oh, if I take them off, things are gonna be weird. Okay, leave them on, but I'm gonna try and maybe I'll put my head like this and you'll be able to see the light. There's that thing. So that you sabotage yourself. You sabotage yourself. Why? Okay, what is the thing? And why don't you feel worthy of it? It's this thing in your life that has been there. Step by step by step by step by step. You know what's the thing. You know what's the thing. By taking that first step, you strengthen your ability to get there. By pure avoidance and not even taking the baby step. So, in this case, the baby step is acknowledging that you're avoiding it. Hey, I'm avoiding this. I want it, but I keep sabotaging myself. I just recognize what I'm doing. By making that first step, you strengthen your ability to start climbing the stairs. It's like looking up the stairs or looking up the mountain going, I can't do this. But, as I used to do with my kidlet, we used to sing. So they'd be like, nope, done, so done, not walking, distraction, 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 right? Look at the trees, look at the ants, right? So we'd sing. Not only to distract from the distract and to get things going, but to also motivate. So the ants go marching one by one was always our favorite. And we just start singing and you'd be walking and the next thing you know, boom, done. You're like, hey, we're at Care. How did that happen? Ooh, right? Because you're focused on the active movement. One step at a time. The ants go marching one by one, hurrah, right? Hurrah. Step by step by step until you get there. Each step, I mean, we're talking, my kidlet was 3, so each step was like little. Well, my kid's kind of tall, but little. So each step, if you looked at them individually, was not that much. But when you look at each step, add it up, step plus step plus step plus step plus step, it adds up and you get there. Maybe you get to the corner and there's a ton of traffic, i.e., your own patterning coming up. And you're like, how am I going to cross the street? And you're like, whatever, I'll just turn around or I'll just sit here. No. How do we stop that pattern so that you can cross the street and keep going to where you deserve to go? We call this the heart frequency. This is the heart-centered space. This is your original source energy vibrational current. And this is the reason why you came here. But then the human existence got in the way. Right? I was going to say it didn't necessarily get in the way, but it's hindered. And that's part of it. That's part of it. It's what we've agreed to. When you came here, you're like, okay, you know what? I want this thing, but I want you to put all these obstacles in the way. So when I get that thing, I'm like, oh, I got the thing. And some people, their agreement when they came here was, I only want one thing. Or maybe last life, excuse me, or next life, they're going to have the, right? All these things. And you'll be like, I had one thing, or I had nothing. And everything was like, it was easy. Easy, right? What else is it too about when we're hiking up this mountain? You see why I'm talking about mountains so much? So the Tao Oracle, talking about duration. When you're going on a hike up that mountain to your peak, to that place where you just are like, this is me, right? Hiking up to that peak. What does it take? One step, two step, constant, continuous perseverance. My legs are cramping. Let's keep going. It's okay. Let's take a rest. Let's have a drink. Let's have a nap. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Oh, we said we were going to go this route, but I see that this route also goes there. That's okay. That's your flow. Just because you said, I'm going to do exactly this in this way, 100%, it doesn't mean that as you go, you don't go, oh, the weather's changed. This route might not be the safest because of all that shale and it's going to be raining. So maybe we should go this way. It's going to be safer. It's going to get us to the same place, but it's what is actually needed right now. And who's to say you might take that route and then be like, hey, okay, we said we were taking route B, but guess what? This also came up, so let's go this way. So it's flowing at the same time. Yeah? Let's see. So this takes this. I might be getting, no? So impulse controlling kidlets, right? It's like, I want that now. I'm going for that now. Let's do this now, right? Conscious stream of thought, blah, 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 just comes out. So that's what happens when we haven't reached this level of wisdom, of maturity. Is it just like flows? And we see this in kids. Kids are just like ding, 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 ding. Impulse control, right? But as we are like, this is what I desire, these impulses don't pull us off track. And this is the maturity of knowing your heart, getting to know your heart. And then there's the wisdom of knowing your heart. So once we get to this peak of, right, of knowing our heart, being in connection with our heart, living from that original source frequency, it doesn't mean there's not going to be challenges, but things flow differently. Manifestation is way different. Which makes me think, my partner ordered something the other day and they got this email that said, manifested out for delivery. And it made them laugh because we always talk about manifesting, right? About creating our reality. And of course, there's like, you create the manifest to ship something, right? That's just what's called, that like piece of paper. This is the manifest, here you go, this is what's included, blah, blah, blah. So it's interesting that that term is used, but it's true. It's like, what are you creating? The other beautiful thing about connecting to this heart-filled frequency, connecting to this original source essence that is you, is how stable that's going to make you. By stable, again, we have life, so stuff shifts, but it's not going to be like, oh, this happened, and you completely capsize. It's going to be like, oh, this thing happened. Okay? Oh, look, this other thing happened. Oh, push me over a little bit more. But then you come back to center so much easily. And a lot of the things will end up being like, oh, cool. And it's not that you don't have emotion. It's not that you've disconnected. It's that you're able to be present to now, to the awe state. Yeah? The heart is very connected to that state of just like bliss, really. And it's not that follow your bliss, nobody else matters. It's only your bliss that matters. It's not like that. It's just this it's a challenging state to explain how it feels, but then when you've hit that space, it's like it's runner's high. I don't run, but a lot of people talk about that runner's high where they're just like all of a sudden everything just goes clear and they're just like, oh, right? It's kind of like one of those things that you don't really get unless you've made it into that state. You can also think about it stuff. So if you're an artist and you're doing something and you just come into this clear state and you're in that state or you've been in that state when time is ultra quantum. So you'll come out of something and you're like, dude, how was it only 5 minutes? It felt like I was in there for an hour. Or I got all these things done in that hour and those things should have taken me like 4 hours to do. Right? Like time shifts. Time goes so quantum. That's how you know you're in this awe state. Yeah? So again, the duration. What is it that you're avoiding doing, but that you want to so bad? And what one step can you take now, after taking the first step of acknowledging that you're sabotaging yourself? What one step, one turns into 2, turns into 3, turns into 4. One step can you take now that you are avoiding? And as always, if you need assistance, need some guidance, even figuring out what that thing is, you're like, I feel stuck. I don't even know what that thing is that I feel stuck against, but I know there's this thing on the other side of this stuckness. Please reach out. I am here. Virtually and in person. That's what's so great about the now, isn't it? We can actually connect like this now, which is so wonderful and so beautiful. And the seven sisters, from the biggest of hearts, from every single one of them. You are worth taking the time to no longer avoid what it is that you deserve and that you are worth. And they are giving their biggest love to you alongside me, the seven sisters, of one which I am 8. Because they love you, as I do as well. Okay? Thank you so much. I will post this for replay if you need to rewatch it. If there's some things in there that you didn't quite, you want to watch again, you want to listen to again, you want to like really sink into. Okay? Sending you so much love. You know where to find me if you need me.